All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I am Allison. I am a co founder of the Collaboratory Career Hub. And at the Collaboratory, we are a dynamic community that is dedicated to professional development within the tech and biotech sectors. Today, I am here with Jackie McKay. Jackie has over 14 years of experience and has done thousands of hours coaching individuals and members of corporations of all sizes. She helps high performing mid career leaders blaze their own path. And today she is going to talk to us about professional development and why it is so important to continuously invest in your professional development. Jackie, thanks for coming on today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Would you like to give us a little intro into sort of who you are and what you do, a little bit about how you got into professional coaching and development?
Thank you. As you mentioned, my name is Jackie McKay, and I've been doing this work, coaching individuals, leaders within companies, teams, doing group coaching for the last 15 years. And I specifically help mid career leaders to support them in navigating any career lulls or burnout or anxiety or imposter syndrome, to support them in navigating that so that they're thriving in their career as opposed to having that suck them dry and suck that out of them. So we get really intentional about supporting them with navigating their next career goals and their next career aspirations, because we know that in midlife and mid career, we have a lot of questions that go on as a result of everything that's happening in our environment and within our technological space as well. So that's what I do.
Awesome. That sounds really interesting. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today about all of
Yeah.
this. I know that we are going to get to hang out with you a little bit more on June 30th. So this is just a quick overview, but can you give us some high level points why it is so crucial that people continue to invest in professional development and what that maybe looks like from even early career to late career and how people can stay engaged with their own professional development?
Well, what's important about it is everything. So when we go to school, we have these little brains which are in learning mode, which is fantastic. And then we leave school and we actually realize that the world is a lot different of a place than what we're taught in school. And actually, if you look at how the world is moving today, it's super complex and everything is moving so fast. So if you even look at artificial intelligence, I like to think of the reason why we're going to do personal development is for our own human intelligence. And that is to be able to keep up with the ways in which the world is changing. We actually know that the way that public school is being taught today in the systems and even in our educational systems in university, they're slow and they're not keeping up with everything that's happening in the complexities with our world today. So the ways in which individuals are getting promoted, the ways in which people are understanding how to manage their burnout, not overworking, the ways in which people are understanding how to thrive in their career in terms of creating an impact and creating promotions for themselves, in terms of really understanding where they're going to be in their future because everything is changing. It lives in this spectrum of this area of personal development or professional development. And all of these areas get covered, such as how do I create a vision for my career in the face of these interesting changing landscapes and circumstances? How do I manage complex teams? In the face of last week, we were supposed to be developing this project, and now we've been told to stop. And our whole organizational culture is about to change. How do I manage that? How do I manage these people to help them stay engaged while there's a pandemic going on? How am I supposed to help individuals show up to work when they feel so much anxiety because they haven't networked for a year because they've been in their houses? So all of situations that we're finding ourselves in today are just unprecedented. And so if we're not actually staying in top of how we're managing these current scenarios based in our today moment, how our brains work and how our impact of how we show up makes a difference, then it's to our detriment, because we then can actually find ourselves in positions of burnout, of anxiety, of imposter syndrome, of feeling overwhelmed, of feeling like we're just not skilled enough. And it's because it's true, because our educational institutions only really prepare us for our expertise to be an individual contributor for the most of the time. Whereas leadership capabilities and understanding how we are and how we show up in the world is a totally different conversation that just isn't being had in these institutions, but that is super needed right now alongside all of these transformational changes that's happening in this era. That's a long-winded question, but that is the reason.
No, that is fantastic. What level of engagement do you see from companies? Do you see a lot of companies saying, hey, we really do need to provide some coaching. We really do need to provide people with more professional development opportunities? Or do you see more companies becoming more insular and saying, we're just doing the task, we're just doing the thing, and you can go get all that on your own time to their employees?
That's a really great question. And what I would say to that is the companies who have the CEOs who have a growth mindset, who understand the complexities of their organizations and who understand what their employees are up against are the employees and the organizations who are actually demanding that their individuals have professional development done. And they're the organizations who see that coaches will be the human intelligence part of alongside of artificial intelligence because we are human beings. And those are the people, those organizations, the ones that are on the cutting edge are the ones who are actually promoting, who are paying for, and who are demanding. They know that when their individuals who are coming to work are not performing well, that has an impact on their bottom line because it's not AI who is running the organizations, it's human beings who are running organizations. So I would say the organizations that are not getting on board with the coaching and the growth mindset and understanding this are the ones that are probably the more dinosaurs, or what we would call in change theory, the tradition holders, the ones who are clawing and holding back. I hate to say it, but I've seen governments, the kind of slower, larger organizations that take a little bit of time. It takes a long time for the ship to be turned around. But I am seeing even governments, oil and gas organizations, large corporations are seeing the deep value for this. And it's not just even at the bottom line of the organization, but it really is at the bottom line of these human beings who are coming to work every day. They're really seeing how they have to take care of their individuals and give them tools to be able to do that for themselves, to then to be able to show up so that they can produce results for the bottom line. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does. That's really interesting. You also talk about the cost of hiring and where retention comes in. And you have to imagine that organizations that invest in their employees have much better retention. They can promote from within.
Absolutely. I've talked to so many individuals who have told me that they will stay in an organization because of the organizational values and because they get this type of a support, then go towards another company who doesn't provide this and who would pay them.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
Even the idea of organizations who have a growth mindset, being in an organization that has that type of a culture is contagious. And a lot of people want to stay in that space. And right now, especially when there is so much angst in the world and tension and anxiety, when you have an organization who really cares about people, there is nothing more satisfying right now to all of us to want to be a part of a group like that, that is supporting each other, that's a growth mindset, that's thinking about care for human beings in this time. Like that's priceless.
Yeah, I really love that. I feel like that really encapsulates like the importance of this on the individual and the corporate level. So we are so lucky to have you doing a live event with us on June 30th. I am really excited for our conversation about all things professional development. But would you be able to give us like a little bit of a kind of teaser about what's to come with that? What can we look forward to talking about on June 30th? And maybe just a high level overview so people know what to look forward to.
What I'm excited to do, first of all, my highest aspiration is for people to bring their questions and to be able to support people live. That is so important around what is personal development? What does it look like? How do I know if I'm in professional and personal development? How do I know what I need? Because there are so many tools out there as a result of how do I get purposeful with doing professional development? And what would be some really important reasons for me to remember about why I'm doing this? What is going to be the impact at the end of the day of this? And we'll talk a little bit about your return on investment is just astronomical. I've heard my clients call it career altering. So I always like to say when you do professional development, it's not like driving a car off of a lot and your car depreciates. It's about actually you're going to get that return on investment back for you. What is the return on investment when you sign up for some sort of professional development? That'll be some of the conversations.
I can't wait. I am really excited. I think that the point about finding your purpose for what you're doing with professional development is really important. And I'm so anxious to hear your thoughts on that and get some guidance for myself on all things professional and personal development. We invite everyone to join us on June 30th. We are so excited. We'll add more information below in the YouTube blurb and online, and hop in, join us. And if you have questions in advance, feel free to send them and we'll get them over to Jackie. Jackie, thank you so much for sitting with me today and starting to dip our toes into the water. And I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation soon.
I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you for having me.